Hey beauties, welcome back to my channel. Today we are revisiting my ride or die products from 2 years ago. This is back when Jaclyn Hill first did her ride or die video and then everybody was doing theirs. So these are the products that 2 years ago I considered to be my ride or die. I recently stumbled upon Samantha Ravindal's video revisiting her old favorites and talking about whether or not she would still recommend them. And I thought, I would love to go back to my ride or die video. It's been a while since I've seen it, so I gave it a good play. I wrote down everything that I said was my ride or die. Oh my goodness, I have a whole lot of MAC in here, but I'm going to go through all of the products. I'm going to tell you if I still am ride or die for them, if I still like them, or if I would even still suggest them today. I thought this would be fun. So I'm going to start off in the same way I did in that video. I'm just going to go straight through the list. And I started off with primers. And the primer that I was ride or die for 2 years ago was the MAC Natural Radiance Primer. Now this I've talked about several times in primer videos, speaking of different ones that I do suggest, so I definitely still suggest this, and I even have a backup of it in case I run out. This is one that I think will be in my collection for a long time. Obviously, I'm still using it to this day, but I wouldn't consider it ride or die. I don't use it as much as I did back then. This is an oil controlling and hydrating primer, so it's not going to dry you out. It's going to add in that hydration that you need, but it's not going to make you more oily. It's not a smoothing primer or anything like that. This is something that I use on the outskirts of my face, but now I find myself using the TATCHA Silk Canvas far more often for the outskirts of my face, but I will still grab for this every now and then. The next one I am still ride or die for. This is still something that I use every single day, and it is MAC Skin Refined Zone. So this goes just on my pores and sometimes on my chin. I used to put it a little bit on my forehead, but as I'm getting older, my forehead can get a little dry looking if I put primers and stuff up there. So mainly here, sometimes here, and it's just like a little dot of it, and it helps to control the oil, and then whatever smoothing primer I put on top of it, it still works. So yes, still ride or die status. Speaking of primers, I think I just talked about this. This is the Makeup Forever Step 1 Skin Equalizing Primer in the smoothing option. So not ride or die for this anymore, but I still like it. It is still something that I would use today if I didn't have my Tarte Timeless Smoothing Primer or my Milk Makeup Blur Stick. The only thing I don't like about this is that you have to contain it like this. If you have it laying flat or in a container where it's upright, there's these little oils that can come through, and that becomes annoying. So I know that I always had to keep it in a cup or in whatever drawer, and it had to be upright like this so that that wouldn't happen. Still like this product, but definitely not ride or die. Going in strong with MAC, you guys. This is the Prep and Prime Lip Primer. I put this on every single day before every video. I would have it on because I wanted this underneath my lipstick. Definitely still suggest this. I definitely still always have one of these because if I find that a matte lipstick is making my lips a little too dry, or if I'm finding that my lipstick moved around, or my lip lines show too much, this is an amazing product. It's so great, especially if you have lines around your mouth and you have issues with your product, your lipstick transferring or moving outside of the lines of your lips. This just helps. You put it on a thin layer, wait till it gets kind of tacky, and it works amazingly well. But now I don't find myself wearing matte lips as often, so I'm priming my lips now with the TATCHA CAMELLIA Gold Spun Lip Balm. So I'm putting this on before every video instead of this one. So this isn't ride or die, but it's definitely something that I still keep in my collection and still highly recommend. Soft Ochre Paint Pot by MAC, of course. I don't even have this in my collection anymore. I remember when I was so die-hard for this, I cleaned up underneath my brows with it. I primed my eyes. I used MAC Blanc Type right on top of it to set it. I have not used a paint pot on my eyes. I couldn't even tell you how long it has been. I would still suggest it. It's not something that I would say, no, don't use it, but it wouldn't be my first choice. I definitely liked, you know, just using my concealer, the Tarte Shape Tape. Let me not mix that up. But I am definitely on to the Anastasia one. The Anastasia eye primer. It's white, almost white. I love that, and I don't have to set it or anything, so I'm not ride or die for the paint pot anymore. I still think it's a good product, but it's still not one that I would just like run out and suggest. It would be an option, but it'd be one of the last options I would suggest. It was so much fun for me to go back 2 years and see what my ride or die foundations and concealers were. Some things I could just predict, like I remember that far back because I used certain products for just a long period of time, like the Skin Refine Zone. I've just always used it. But I didn't remember what my favorites were from back then. And with foundations, concealers, powders, your skin changes. I'm getting older and I'm combination. So not everything is always going to work for me. But this was my holy grail back then, as well as this one. I put them both in the video. This is the Josie Maran Vibrancy Foundation. I have consistently still had this in my collection. I actually have it on right now as well, and I still like it. It has always been something that I have had in my collection. If I have one to expire, or if I run out, I always have. I think I have 3 different shades right now in my collection so that I can have it at any given moment because I love this so much. It is not my ride or die. I think my ride or dies, if I had to pick just 2 like I did in this last video, I would go with the La Prairie, big price jump there, the Skin Caviar, because nothing makes my skin look as good as that. But I don't know what my second one would be. In my video, I talked about this one. I still love this, but it's not ride or die. This is the Pro Longwear Nourishing Waterproof Foundation. So what I liked to do, back then I had more acne than what I do now because I'm on a medication to help with it, even though I got a nice one right here today. I liked to use this foundation and then take a little bit of this because this is a foundation and concealer in one. And I would just go over my little areas with this. So I didn't have this much coverage everywhere. I had the vibrancy of this one and then the coverage of this one. But now I definitely have my favorites. I don't know which ones I would be absolute ride or die for other than La Prairie, Skin Caviar, La Mer Soft Fluid. I love my Laura Mercier. There's a few that I just have been interchanging, so I don't know what I would say are my ride or dies. And the concealer, I had just gone from using the Urban Decay Naked Skin Concealer to this one. This is the Smashbox Studio Skin, and I just remember, because this is in the shade Fair, I wanted to be so bright underneath my eyes. I just wanted all the glow underneath my eyes. But I remember falling hard for this. I really liked it. I don't really like it now. It's not something that I pick up, just like the new Tom Ford one. It's okay. I think that concealers have come such a long way that, you know, there's some good ones that are still good, but now I feel like phenomenal ones. And again, my under eyes change. So right now I know my ride or die is Giorgio Armani's Power Fabric. That thing is amazing. I don't use this one anymore. This is one of those that I knew was going to be in the video because I used this for such a long time, and I would still suggest this, but I never wear it anymore. This is from Hourglass. This is in the shade Diffused Light. So I would use my super bright concealer and then I would use this right over top. This is beautiful. I love this powder. I love using it on people. I don't do freelance anymore because of my shoulder, but I loved to use this on people. It really brightens up. It's non-drying. It's just absolutely stunning. Hourglass powders are so finely milled and they don't create texture. They're just stunning, especially for bridal makeup. If you're doing anything bridal, you need Hourglass powders. I don't care if you're getting the loose powder, if you're getting one of the radiant powders, if it's just the highlight, you need Hourglass powders in your life for your wedding. This is still ride or die for me. but it's not around anymore. But it's around for me because I still have some of these, and I've been, again, so lucky to have people reach out, hey, do you want to buy mine? Or hey, I will send you mine. And they've been untouched. You guys are amazing for keeping my stockpile of this stocked. This is the La Mer, the original powder. I love this. I love this so much. So for me, yes, this is still ride or die. Absolutely 100%. I use it all the time. But if I had to pick a powder that you can actually go out and buy right now, Sicily would be what I would end up using in place of this once I actually run out of all mine. But the Charlotte Tilbury powder is really close. I can't continuously use it because it has cornstarch in it, but it's beautiful, absolutely beautiful. And I know some people don't like the smell, but it's a healthy ingredient in there, so that's why it has that smell. But I know some people just don't like the smell. But anyway, getting ahead of myself. This is still ride or die for me. If I had to pick a new ride or die, it would be the Sicily in 01 Irisy. Bronzers. Oh my goodness. When I did my video, I showed this and it was 100% full and I had been using it nonstop. Now you can see this is what it looks like, and I probably need to go ahead and throw this one out and get a new one. I still love this. This is, of all cream products, the best cream bronzer that you can possibly get. Definitely worth the money, definitely still suggest it. The only reason why I don't use this or any other cream bronzers on my face is because of my hair. In case you haven't heard my spill for the umpteenth time, it's a little harder. It starts to stain my hair, and I'm almost like convinced that maybe I will start using it once or twice a week, just not consistently, because I miss this so much. I think I'm gonna repurchase it and, you know, again, just not use it every day so my hair doesn't get stained. I have to take a wet wipe or something to get it out. But I have to do that with other bronzers as well. But I think I'm going to repurchase this because it's just so beautiful. And then the other one I mentioned, because sometimes I would like to up the bronziness of my face, Hourglass. It was like MAC and Hourglass back then. This is Luminous Bronze Light. I feel like the last time I used this was in one of my Shop My Stashes. I'm not sure why I stopped using this, to be completely honest, and I don't think that I have a ride or die bronzer. I think I have found so many bronzers that I like that I'm not really committed to just one. It depends on what my undertone for the day. Like today I'm wearing a cooler tone bronzer, you know, and tomorrow I might wear a warmer tone. So I have not picked this one up. I still suggest it, but I don't really have a ride or die bronzer anymore. My go-to highlight has definitely changed because I used to be way more on the subtle side. Now I like to pack on my highlight and then kind of dull it down a little bit with my buffing technique or go around the edges so that I have the glow, but it's not, it's like intense, but then the edges are smooth, if that makes any sense at all. But this was it. I love this, and I still do. I feel like looking at my skin and stuff in that video, it's a little bit tricky though, because when I go back to that video, I have to remember I had a camera that did not pick up on anything, and I was in a room that didn't have as much lighting. Like this room has a whole lot of natural lighting, so this shows everything. So I have to like remind myself of that sometimes, but this is beautiful. A lot of people don't like this because, and it's brilliant strobe light from Hourglass, because it seems like it's shimmery. And whenever you look at it, especially in Sephora or in just running out in the daylight, it is shimmery, but on the skin, it's so subtle and beautiful. I really need to pull this back out, but if I'm going to be completely honest with you, I would love for them to just come out with this formula. I have put this palette down because I don't want to run out of it. I thought that they were going to come out with the full-size version of these. This is the metallic strobe lighting powders. I love these. These are textureless, but bright, smooth, just amazing. Ride or die highlight right now. I feel like you guys already know. Come on now. You know what it is, but it's not sold anymore. It's Dior's Hollow Pink. That is my boo thing, and I don't know what I would pick other than that because I love the Benefit Cookie, which is coming out with a full-size version. I have a lot of highlighters that I like. I have a ton of highlighters that I like. But anyway, let's move on. For my brows, it was all about the Anastasia Beverly Hills Brow Definer. So this is the one that has the thicker end right here. It kind of comes like to a point. I used to do my brows very differently. I have not picked this up in I don't know how long. I like to take my clear brow gel and go through first, push up all my brow hairs, and then I have several different brow products that I like, brow pencils. Honestly, I'm not committed to one. They're so interchangeable to me, so I don't care that much about that, but this used to be everything, and I sculpted out my brows. I would add a brow gel that had color to it. My brows were just like, there you go. But no, I like this. I still would recommend it, but I never use it anymore. Now, if you are an OG to my channel, you know what my favorite blush was back in the day. I would put this on and I would have to try to not wear this. So you would have to pry this out of my hands for me not to wear it. And it is MAC Gingerly. I wore this no matter what the eye look, no matter what I was wearing, it did not matter. I wore MAC Gingerly like it was going out of style. And I still like the color, but I think that I have found formulas that I like better than MAC blushes. I still like them, don't get me wrong, and I will pull this out every once in a while and put it on, and I still like them. But I definitely moved on to like Chanel Elegance. I love that one. NARS Madly I used a lot right after that. I'm trying to think of what else. Tom Ford Inhibition. Let me show you that one. Tom Ford Inhibition is stunning. I've been wearing this one a lot recently, and then I love the new Melt ones. Well, they're not new. And then I love the Cover FX ones. There's so many blushes that I like, but that was my ride or die. I couldn't tell you. No, I could. If I had to pick just one, it would be Chanel Elegance. Let's talk liners. There's 3 different liners that I need to go over. A gel liner, a liner for the inner rim, and then a nude one that I put on my lower waterline. Blech, I cannot talk. So the very first one is still ride or die for me, but it's not sold anymore. I have stock. I've got 2 just right here, and I have more in my drawers. But this is MAC Rich Ground. I do not wear this on camera because I don't want to make anybody mad at me, but I love this. It is it's hard to tell on my finger, but it has like this it's a brown with like a metallic red almost shift to it. I love it so, so much. So this is still ride or die status. I wish that they would bring it back. I've tried these ColourPop ones to see if they were similar at all. This one definitely wasn't Nut. I picked that one up, and then I also picked up Rum. Neither one of these compared to it. The closest thing is in a pencil form, and this is Whipple Flash from Linda Hallberg. So it's a little harder to get the wing. I just take an angled brush, get it on there, and use it if I'm going to go on camera with this color of liner. But other than that, yes, I still am ride or die for my MAC Rich Ground, but if I had to pick another one, that it would be Whipple Flash from Linda Hallberg. The next 2 were my top and lower waterline. So at the top, I always used Marc Jacobs Highliner in Blacker. I don't think I have it anymore. I might have a sample of it somewhere for like whenever I travel, but the liner is still amazing. However, it gets on my contacts and then it's really hard to get off. And I have, obviously, I know you guys know that I've replaced it with Milk's Boss Liner for the black. And then my lower lash line, I always used MAC's Chromographic Pencil in NC15 and W20. Now that one never really lasted in my waterline, but it was the perfect color. And then the Milk one in BCC, this one actually does last. And it's the right color. I don't know if you're actually going to be able to see it. It's right here. I love these. So these are absolute ride or die for me. That's so easy for me to say. And I know you guys know that because you always see it in the description box. You always see me using them. I've been trying to not do the lower waterline as much because I've had this issue with my eyes. So I'm trying to keep some product out of it, but that's not because of the liner. Moving on, let's go to my favorite mascara. I only picked a bottom lash mascara because I used to wear lashes all the time. Now I don't wear lashes all the time. And I couldn't tell you what my ride or die is for mascara. I change those up like nobody's business. But the one that I mentioned for my lower lash line is still ride or die. MAC Extended Play in GIGABLACK, the blackest version. This is the best thing for the lower lash line. I love the size of the applicator. Just do a little zigzag. It doesn't mess up on me. It doesn't move. It doesn't smudge. It doesn't do anything. So still ride or die for this product. Why didn't anybody tell me I got powder on myself? Rude. Now, because I didn't have a favorite mascara, I did have a favorite when it came to lashes. And I always wore the Salon Perfect Demi Wispies. And I have them sometimes in my collection. I don't right now, but we all know that I'm wearing these all the time anyway. When I wear lashes, I don't have any lashes on right now, but when I wear lashes, 99.9% of the time, it is the Kiss Ritzy Lash. I love these. These are perfect. They're inexpensive. They are just like the perfect length. They're not too much, but they don't look like there's nothing there either. They're just amazing. I laughed when I saw what my ride or die palette was because I was like, it was so me. I use this all the time. And I feel like I kind of switched from going warm with everything to more neutral pink. I mean, today, case in point, pink lipstick, a pink eye, like, oh, that didn't sound good. Pink eyeshadow. So this one I don't pick up so much anymore, but I loved it back in the day. And this is the Kat Von D Shade and Light Eye Palette. Loved this so, so much. Now I think you guys know that it has been replaced with another item that is limited edition, which please bring it back. Tarte, please bring this back. This is the Aspen Ovard palette. You can see I've hit mad pan on this. These are my colors now. It used to be all about the warm tones, and I still like warm tones, but now I prefer this. I love like the Hourglass Myth palette, things like that. So this is no longer ride or die for me. I haven't picked it up in a little while. And then I also mentioned one eyeshadow, which is this little guy right here. This is MAC Nylon. I went through so many of these. Let me show you. So this is like the brightest thing you could possibly get for inner corner and brow arch. And I always wanted to have that on my inner corner. Now, not as much. I usually will just use my highlight for my top part right here unless I'm doing like an eyeshadow tutorial. Sometimes I have an inner corner highlight and sometimes I don't. I could live with if Nylon disappeared. I love the shade, don't get me wrong, but I wouldn't be super upset about it. I would just take my cookie highlighter and put it in there or any my Dior, whatever. There are so many good things now that, yeah, I don't care that much. I picked out two lipsticks, which were, again, both from MAC. I picked out my favorite dark, and then I picked out my favorite nude. And both of these I still love, but I have interchanged with other things. The first one was Yash. This lipstick was everything, and I still really like this color because it's a true nude. It's not too brown, it's not too pink, it's really neutral. Loved it. And then Lady Danger, oh my goodness, yes, give it to me. Those were my two, like if I wanted a dark one or if I wanted a light one. Now I'm a little bit kind of stuck on Tom Ford, so let me show you. I basically replaced Lady Danger with Flame. It's this one right here. I do prefer the matte version of Tom Ford lipsticks to the MAC ones, but the MAC ones are still phenomenal. So the price difference, that's up to you. And then All Mine, it's more on the pinky side. So you can see It's lighter and it's more of that pinky tone versus the matte. I used to be all about matte lipsticks, and I'm wearing a matte lipstick today. Lisa Eldridge, you are phenomenal. But for the most part, I do like a more either shiny or glossy lip. And speaking of glosses, Ride or Die gloss. I am still kind of upset that they got rid of this. I probably need to throw this away. I really probably do. This is Ray of Sunshine. I love this gloss so much. But yeah, they discontinued this shade. If you want something similar, I could not find it because my collection, everything is a mess right now. But Salted Caramel from Bite Beauty, it works just as good and it smells better, and it's the color, they're so close. So if that was one that you really loved, then just go get Salted Caramel. What I like to wear on its own now, because I like to wear this just by itself, I love the BALM Snap. This is so nice. I have several lip glosses that I like, but you see this is again more on that neutral side. I used to be all about the warm tones, I'm telling you, all about them. And I still like a warm tone bright lipstick, but not, I don't do as many warm all over looks. All right, home stretch right here. We've got two products to talk about. Lastly, my Ride or Die finishing spray and setting spray. So back in the day, MAC Fix Plus was not considered a setting spray. Now it is. I will get on a whole tangent. That just really just irks my nerves, you guys. You have no idea. So Ride or Die was Fix Plus. We all of you guys know now that it is my Watermelon Glow from, Glow Recipe Watermelon Glow Ultra Fine Mist. This is my new Ride or Die. That, no question about it. Some of these products on here, I couldn't tell you what a new Ride or Die is, but Fix Plus definitely moved on to the Watermelon Glow Mist. And then my favorite setting spray was the Urban Decay Chill Makeup Setting Spray. I don't have that in my collection anymore. I don't tend to use setting sprays as much anymore. I like the finishing spray more. So I don't really have a Ride or Die when it comes to an actual setting spray. But anywho, I hope this was interesting and fun for you guys. Let me know down below what maybe something 2 or 3 years ago you were Ride or Die for and you have changed your mind now, or something like, you know, my MAC Skin Refine Zone that I still use today. Let me know down below what some of yours are, and I will see you in my next video. Bye, guys.